The ocean covers more than 70% of our planet's surface. We've mapped every inch of the moon, sent rovers to Mars, and peered billions of light years into deep space. Yet we've explored less than 5% of Earth's oceans. The deepest, darkest parts of our seas remain more mysterious than the surface of distant planets. What lies beneath? What secrets rest on the ocean floor, hidden in the crushing darkness where sunlight never reaches? Today, we're diving deep into 18 of the most baffling, unexplained discoveries ever found on the bottom of the ocean, mysteries that scientists still can't fully explain. 18 unexplained ocean bottom discoveries. From ancient structures that shouldn't exist, to sounds that defy explanation, to objects that seem to come from another world, entirely prepare yourself for a journey into the unknown depths. Let's dive in the Baltic Sea Anomaly in June 2011. A Swedish diving team called Ocean X was searching for shipwrecks in the Baltic Sea when their sonar picked up something extraordinary. At a depth of 300 feet, they found a massive circular formation. Approximately 200 feet in diameter, the object appears to have geometric patterns, straight edges, and what looks like a staircase leading to a dark hole at its center. Even stranger, when the team returned with cameras, they claimed their electrical equipment mysteriously malfunctioned. When they got within 200 meters of the object, the formation sits at the end of what appears to be a 1,000-foot-long track, as if something massive skidded across the ocean floor and came to rest. Some suggest it's a natural geological formation, perhaps. Glacial rock shaped by Ice Age movements. But here's what makes it truly puzzling. The rock samples brought back don't match anything in the surrounding area. The formation contains metals and materials in combinations that seem unusual for a natural formation. Some researchers have compared it to the ramp of the Millennium Falcon from Star Wars. Is it just a coincidence of geology? A trick of sonar interpretation? Or is there something more to this perfectly circular, 140,000-year-old formation sitting at the bottom of the Baltic Sea? The Ocean X team continues to investigate, but funding remains limited. The Baltic Sea Anomaly remains one of the ocean's most debated mysteries. The Bimini Road, half a mile off the coast of North Bimini Island in the Bahamas, beneath crystal clear waters at a depth of just 18 feet, lies what appears to be an ancient road or wall stretching for half a mile, discovered in 1968 by divers. The Bimini Road consists of rectangular and semi-rectangular limestone blocks arranged in a linear pattern. The blocks, some weighing several tons, appear to be deliberately placed and fit together with remarkable precision. The official explanation? It's a natural formation called beach rock, a type of sedimentary rock that forms in tropical and subtropical waters. Geologists point out that beach rock can fracture in straight lines and create rectangular patterns, but here's where it gets interesting. Some of the blocks show what appear to be tool marks. Others seem to have been shaped and fitted together with a precision that would require deliberate human engineering. Radiocarbon dating suggests the formation could be 12,000 to 19,000 years old, long before any known civilization in the Americas had the technology to construct such a structure. The famous psychic Edgar Cayce predicted in 1938 that remnants of Atlantis would be discovered near Bimini in 1968 or 1969, the exact time the structure was found. Coincidence? Mainstream archaeology dismisses the Atlantis connection, but admits the formation is unusual. The debate continues: natural phenomenon or evidence of a lost civilization? Whatever the truth, the Bimini Road continues to draw researchers, divers, and mystery enthusiasts from around the world. The Yonaguni Monument off the southern coast of Yonaguni Island, Japan, at a depth of 80 feet, lies one of the most controversial underwater discoveries of all time. The Yonaguni Monument is a massive stone structure featuring perfectly flat surfaces, 90-degree angles, pillars, and what appear to be staircases and terraces, discovered in 1987 by diving instructor Kihashiro Aratake. The structure is approximately 150 feet long and 90 feet wide. It rises to a height of 75 feet and includes what looks like a 5-layer pyramid, a carved stone face, and a formation that resembles a giant turtle. Marine geologist Masahaki Kimura from the University of the Ryukyus believes this is a man-made structure, possibly a pyramid built by an unknown ancient civilization. He points to the precise angles, the tool marks on the stones, and quarry marks as evidence of human construction. If the monument is man-made, it would have been built when the area was above water, at least 10,000 years ago, during the last ice age. This would make it older than the Egyptian pyramids and among the oldest architectural structures on Earth. However, most geologists argue it's a natural formation sandstone and mudstone that fractured along natural plains, creating the geometric appearance. They point out that sandstone in the area tends to break in straight lines and right angles naturally, but natural formation or not, certain features remain difficult to explain. There are holes that appear deliberately drilled, channels that seem carved, symbols that look like writing. The Japanese government has not officially recognized the site as historically significant, which means limited funding for research. The Yonaguni Monument sits in its underwater mystery, waiting for definitive answers that may never come. The Gulf of Cambay structures in 2001. India's National Institute of Ocean Technology was conducting a routine pollution survey in the Gulf of Cambay off the western coast of India when their sonar detected something impossible: geometric structures and formations covering an area of 5 square miles. At depths of 120 feet, the sonar revealed what appeared to be regular geometric structures: walls, building foundations, and even a dam. When underwater cameras were sent down, they captured images of massive rectangular blocks arranged in patterns with what seemed to be carved stone. Even more intriguing acoustic imaging seemed to show what looked like a grid pattern of streets and city blocks. Dredging operations brought up artifacts including pottery, sections of walls, beads, sculptures, and pieces of fossilized wood. Radiocarbon dating of the wood fragments and pottery suggested dates as old as 9,500 years more than 5,000 years older than the oldest known civilization in the Indian subcontinent. If accurate, this would completely rewrite what we know about ancient civilizations. It would mean that advanced urban planning existed thousands of years before Mesopotamia or Egypt. However, the findings remain highly controversial. Many archaeologists question the dating methods and argue the formations could be natural. The artifacts could have washed down from more recent sites. The Gulf of Cambay is fed by rivers that carry sediment, which could explain the material found. Yet the Indian government funded extensive research, and scientists like S.N. Raju and S.B. Dio have argued the evidence points to human habitation. The site remains underwater, largely unstudied, with more questions than answers. The Cuban underwater city in 2001. Advanced Digital Communications, a Canadian company using advanced sonar equipment, detected geometric structures at an impossible depth off the western coast of Cuba. The structures lay 2,200 feet below the surface, far deeper than any known ancient civilization could have built. The sonar revealed what appeared to be symmetrical stone structures resembling pyramids. Roads and buildings spread over several square miles. The formations showed straight lines, circular patterns, and pyramid-like shapes with dimensions suggesting deliberate construction. Oceanographer Paulina Zalitsky, leading the research team, described structures that could be a megalithic city built by an unknown civilization thousands of years ago. The team created 3D models from sonar data showing what appeared to be 8 large structures, including smooth blocks with inscriptions. Some researchers noted similarities to Mayan and Aztec pyramid architecture. Here's the problem. At 2,200 feet deep, these structures would have to be at least 50,000 years old before the end of the last ice age, when sea levels were much lower. That's 45,000 years before we have any evidence of civilization capable of megalithic construction. Mainstream archaeologists remain deeply skeptical, suggesting the formations are likely natural volcanic formations or limestone fractures. The Cuban government initially supported the research, but has since withdrawn funding and access to the site. Without further investigation, the Cuban underwater city remains one of the most intriguing and controversial discoveries beneath our oceans. The structures sit in the darkness, unexplored and unexplained. The Antikythera Mechanism in 1901, sponge divers discovered an ancient Roman shipwreck off the coast of the Greek island Antikythera. Among the statues, pottery, and jewelry, they found a corroded bronze lump that would change our understanding of ancient technology forever. When cleaned and x-rayed, the lump revealed an incredibly sophisticated device, a complex arrangement of at least 30 bronze gears, dials, and inscriptions. It took decades to understand what it was, an ancient mechanical computer designed to predict astronomical positions and eclipses. The Antikythera Mechanism, dated to around 100 BCE, could track the movements of the sun, moon, and planets. It calculated the timing of the Olympic Games. It even accounted for the irregular orbit of the moon. The level of engineering sophistication wouldn't be seen again for more than 1,000 years. It's like finding a jet engine in a medieval castle. The Greeks of this era supposedly lacked the metalworking and mathematical knowledge to create such a device. Recent research using advanced imaging has revealed even more complexity inscriptions mentioning Babylonian, astronomy, and Venus and Saturn cycles. Scientists have built working replicas, but still can't explain where the knowledge to create it came from. Who designed it? What other technologies did they possess that we don't know about? If this one mechanism survived, how many others have been lost to time? The Antikythera Mechanism proves that ancient civilizations knew more than we give them credit for. It makes us wonder what else lies on the ocean floor, waiting to rewrite history. The Apollo 11 engines. Not all ocean mysteries come from the ancient past. In 2013, a team funded by Amazon founder Jeff Bezos recovered something incredible from 14,000 feet below the Atlantic Ocean. They F-1 rocket engines that powered the Apollo 11 mission to the moon. After separating from the spacecraft, these 5 massive engines, each weighing nearly 10 tons, fell into the Atlantic and were presumed lost forever. For over 40 years, they lay in darkness, crushed by immense pressure. Using advanced sonar and underwater robotics, the team located the debris field and carefully recovered components. When brought to the surface, the engines were covered in marine growth and corroded by saltwater, but serial numbers were still visible, confirming they came from the historic Apollo 11 mission. What's unexplained isn't the engines themselves, but the philosophical question they pose. How much history lies scattered across the ocean floor? How many pieces of human achievement have we lost to the depths? NASA estimates that debris from every early space mission, every failed satellite, every experimental spacecraft that didn't make it, all of it, lies somewhere on the ocean bottom. These engines remind us that the ocean is not just a graveyard of ancient civilizations, but of modern ones too. And it makes you wonder what else is down there that we've forgotten. Underwater crop circles in 2012. Underwater photographer Yoji Okada was diving off the coast of Japan when he discovered something completely unexpected on the sandy ocean floor. Intricate geometric patterns resembling crop circles, but underwater. The patterns were beautiful and complex. Circular formations about 6 feet in diameter, with perfectly symmetrical ridges radiating from the center, creating an almost floral design. They appeared too precise, too artistic to be random. For weeks, scientists were baffled. What could create such perfect geometric designs in the sand at depths of 80 feet? Then came the surprising answer: a tiny male pufferfish, just 5 inches long. Researchers discovered that male white-spotted pufferfish create these elaborate structures as nests to attract females. Using only their fins, they work tirelessly for days, creating perfectly geometric patterns. The ridges serve a purpose. They channel ocean currents in ways that protect the eggs at the center. The geometric precision isn't decorative. It's functional engineering created by a fish with a brain the size of a pea. While this mystery was solved, it raises a profound question. What else on the ocean floor appears mysterious or artificial, but is actually the work of creatures we barely understand? How much of what we call unexplained is simply nature being more intelligent than we realize? The pufferfish circles remind us that not every mystery has a dramatic answer. Sometimes the truth is even more wonderful. The millefiori glass beads in various shipwrecks throughout the Mediterranean and off the coast of Africa. Archaeologists have discovered something peculiar: millefiori glass beads that appear in places they shouldn't be, dating to times when such technology supposedly didn't exist in those regions. Millefiori glass, meaning thousand flowers in Italian, is created using a complex technique of bundling colored glass canes and cutting them to reveal intricate patterns. The technique was thought to be developed in ancient Rome around the 1st century BCE, but beads have been found in African shipwrecks that date earlier, and in locations where Roman trade wasn't established. Some show patterns and complexity that suggest even earlier origins. Chemical analysis reveals glass compositions that don't match known ancient glassmaking centers. Even stranger similar beads have been found in pre-Columbian sites in the Americas, suggesting either transoceanic contact long before Columbus or independent development of nearly identical technology. These small, beautiful objects raise big questions. Did ancient civilizations have more contact with each other than we realize? Were ancient trade routes more extensive? Or was glass-making technology discovered and rediscovered multiple times across the ancient world? The beads themselves aren't unexplained. We know how they're made. What's unexplained is how they ended up where they were found, challenging our understanding of ancient maritime trade and cultural exchange. Not every ocean mystery involves human artifacts or ancient civilizations. The ocean floor itself holds phenomena that science struggles to explain. Let's explore some of the natural yet no less mysterious discoveries from the deep. The Bloop. In the summer of 1997, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration detected something extraordinary on their underwater listening equipment. A ultra-low-frequency sound, powerful enough to be recorded by sensors 5,000 kilometers apart across the Pacific Ocean. The sound, nicknamed the Bloop, lasted about 1 minute and rose rapidly in frequency. When scientists analyzed it, they found something disturbing. The audio profile was consistent with a living creature, but far larger than any animal known to science. The sound originated from a remote point in the South Pacific Ocean, roughly off the coast of South America. The pattern suggested a marine animal, but the volume would require a creature several times larger than a blue whale, the largest animal on Earth. For years, the Bloop fueled speculation. Was it an unknown giant sea creature? A survivor from the age of dinosaurs? Something even more mysterious? In 2005, NOAA concluded that the Bloop was most likely the sound of a massive iceberg fracturing and cracking, process called an icequake. The location matched areas of Antarctic ice shelf breakup, and the audio signature, while resembling an animal call, could be explained by ice friction and cavitation. But some researchers aren't convinced. The Bloop's profile still shows anomalies. And even if this particular sound was explained, NOAA has recorded dozens of other unexplained sounds from the deep ocean sounds with names like Julia, Slow Down, and Whistle. The ocean is far from silent, and not all the sounds have explanations. Whatever is down there, living or geological, we're only beginning to listen. Underwater rivers and lakes. Imagine finding a river flowing along the ocean floor, or a lake beneath the sea with its own shoreline and waves. It sounds impossible, but these underwater formations are real, and they're as strange as they sound. In 2007, scientists discovered a massive underwater river flowing along the floor of the Black Sea. This river is formed by layers of water with different densities. The lower layer is extremely salty and dense, creating a distinct flow separate from the water above it. The underwater river has banks, a floodplain, and even rapids. If it were on land, it would be the sixth largest river on Earth, with a flow rate of 22,000 cubic meters per second. Even stranger are brine pools underwater lakes of super salty water that is so dense it doesn't mix with the surrounding seawater. These pools have distinct shorelines. You can actually watch a submarine surface from seawater into the brine, as if emerging from one medium into another. The most mysterious aspect? These brine pools are toxic to most life, yet strange creatures congregate around their edges, white mussels that thrive on methane, deep-sea fish that hunt the boundaries, and microbial mats that form alien-looking ecosystems. Scientists believe these formations help us understand how life might exist on other planets, in subsurface oceans beneath the ice of Europa or Enceladus. The ocean floor teaches us that liquid water can create environments within environments, worlds within worlds. These underwater rivers and lakes aren't unexplained in the sense that we don't know how they form. What's unexplained is the full extent of their ecosystems and what they can teach us about life in extreme environments. The Mariana Trench sounds. The Mariana Trench is the deepest part of the world's oceans, nearly 7 miles deep, where the pressure is more than 1,000 times that at sea level. In 2016, the NOAA dropped a titanium-encased hydrophone to the bottom of the trench to record sounds from the deepest place on Earth. What they heard was unexpected. Strange metallic moans, biotwangs, and sounds that scientists described as science fiction worthy. Some sounds resembled whale calls, but were distorted in ways that made no sense. Others had no biological comparison at all. The most mysterious sound was dubbed the Western Pacific biotwang, a long, complex call that includes a metallic component. Scientists believe it's produced by a baleen whale, but they can't explain the metallic frequency components, which don't match any known whale species. Remember, the Mariana Trench is deeper than Mount Everest is tall. The pressure would crush a human instantly. Light never penetrates these depths. What lives down there? What makes these sounds? We've discovered creatures in the trench that look alien ethereal snailfish, translucent amphipods, strange anemones. But sound recordings suggest there's much more that we haven't seen. The trench spans 1,550 miles long and 43 miles wide. We've barely explored a fraction of it. Whatever is making these sounds remains, for now, one of Earth's deepest mysteries. Methane craters off the coast of Norway, in the Barents Sea. Scientists have discovered more than 600 massive craters on the ocean floor, some up to half a mile wide and 150 feet deep. These aren't impact craters or ancient formations. They're relatively new, and they're still forming. The craters are caused by massive methane explosions. Methane gas trapped beneath the seafloor in frozen deposits called methane hydrates builds up pressure until it suddenly erupts, blowing a crater in the seafloor. Researchers discovered active methane seeps bubbling up from many of these craters. Some release enough methane to create visible surface disturbances. The explosions are powerful equivalent to detonating several tons of TNT, Here's what makes this troubling. As ocean temperatures rise due to climate change, methane hydrate deposits become unstable. More craters are forming. More methane is being released. And methane is a greenhouse gas 25 times more potent than carbon dioxide. What scientists can't fully predict is how much methane is trapped beneath our seafloors worldwide, or how quickly it might be released. Some researchers worry about a catastrophic scenario, a chain reaction of methane releases that accelerate global warming dramatically. In 2016, a massive crater appeared so suddenly in Siberia that locals reported hearing an explosion and seeing a flash. Similar underwater craters could be forming without any warning. The full extent and implications of these methane systems remain unexplained. The ocean floor is not stable. It's a dynamic, occasionally explosive environment that we're only beginning to understand. The ghost fleet of Chuuk Lagoon in the Pacific Ocean. Within the Chuuk Lagoon of Micronesia lies one of the most haunting and mysterious underwater sites on Earth, an entire Japanese fleet frozen in time. During World War II, Chuuk Lagoon was Japan's main naval base in the South Pacific. In February 1944, Operation Hailstone, a massive U.S. military operation, sank more than 60 ships and 275 aircraft in just 2 days. The vessels went down so quickly that most of their cargo remained aboard. Today, the lagoon is a graveyard of perfectly preserved warships, submarines, supply vessels, and aircraft. The water conditions have created an unusual preservation environment. Ships sit upright on the bottom, their decks still holding trucks, tanks, artillery, and cargo. But here's what makes this truly mysterious and haunting. Human remains are still aboard many of these vessels. Skulls in pilot seats, bones in engine rooms, personal effects scattered throughout letters, photographs, sake bottles, uniforms. Even stranger, the wrecks have become artificial reefs, and life has reclaimed them. Coral grows on gun turrets. Fish swim through cargo holds. Nature has transformed instruments of war into habitats for life. Divers report strange experiences, shadows moving in corridors where no one is present, equipment malfunctions near certain ships, and an overwhelming sense of presence. Some wrecks are strictly off limits, not just out of respect, but because they're considered war graves. The ghost fleet raises questions that go beyond the physical. When does history become archaeology? How do we balance preservation with respect for the dead? And what memories linger in these underwater graves? The fleet lies in waters shallow enough for recreational diving, yet mysteriously preserved as if waiting for crews that will never return. The Alexandria Submerged Palace off the coast of Alexandria, Egypt, beneath the waters of the Mediterranean, lies one of history's greatest archaeological sites, the submerged palace of Cleopatra and the ancient city of Alexandria, including parts of the legendary lighthouse, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Discovered in 1998 by marine archaeologist Frank Gaudio, the site includes massive columns, sphinxes, statues, and what appear to be the foundations of Cleopatra's royal palace. The structures were submerged by earthquakes and tsunamis over centuries, particularly following a massive earthquake in 365 AD. The discovery has yielded thousands of artifacts, jewelry, coins, pottery, and sculptures. But what makes this site mysterious isn't just what's been found, but what remains hidden. Historical texts describe vast libraries, astronomical observatories, and architectural wonders. The famous Library of Alexandria, which contained the knowledge of the ancient world, was supposedly destroyed by fire. But some scholars believe portions of the library, or its contents, might have been preserved in sealed chambers that are now underwater. Pieces of the Pharos lighthouse have been identified massive granite blocks with tool marks showing incredible precision. The lighthouse stood over 350 feet tall, visible from 50 kilometers away. How did ancient engineers design and build such? A structure without modern tools? Ancient texts describe a mysterious mirror at the top of the lighthouse that could spot ships far beyond normal visibility and supposedly project a beam visible for miles. Was this legend, or did the Alexandrians possess optical technology more advanced than we realize? The site is still being excavated. Egypt plans to create an underwater museum so people can dive among the ruins. But security concerns and political instability have limited access. Who knows what still lies buried in the silt, waiting to rewrite our understanding of ancient Mediterranean civilization. The Heraclean and Canopus cities, also off the coast of Egypt, near Alexandria, lies another impossibility. Two entire cities that vanished beneath the Mediterranean. Heraclean and Canopus, lost for over 1,000 years. These weren't small villages. Heraclean was Egypt's main port city before Alexandria was founded. Greek historians described it as a grand city with magnificent temples, busy harbors, and great wealth. Then, around the 8th century AD, it vanished. The city literally disappeared from maps and memory. In 2000, Frank Gaudio's team discovered both cities using advanced sonar and diving techniques. What they found was astonishing entire city blocks preserved underwater, with temples, harbors, homes, and even small boats still tied to ancient docks. The site has yielded colossal statues, some over 15 feet tall, countless gold coins, jewelry, and pottery. They found massive temple structures dedicated to Amun and Osiris. Inscriptions help verify this was indeed Heraclean, mentioned in ancient texts. But here's what's unexplained. Why did these cities sink? Evidence suggests earthquakes and soil liquefaction caused the land to literally collapse into the sea. But the process appears to have been gradual enough that people abandoned the cities, taking many valuables. Some structures show evidence of ritual practices that aren't fully understood, chambers with specific acoustic properties, alignment with celestial events, and arrangements that suggest advanced knowledge of mathematics and astronomy. Even more mysterious organic materials, usually destroyed by seawater, have been preserved in certain areas. Wooden ship parts still show construction details. Ropes and fabrics remain intact. The specific combination of salinity, temperature, and sediment has created time capsules. Only 5% of Heraclean has been excavated. The rest lies beneath the silt, holding secrets about ancient Egyptian culture, trade, religion, and daily life. Each dive brings new discoveries that challenge what we thought we knew about the ancient world. These lost cities prove that history isn't always written. Sometimes it's drowned. The underwater stone circles of Atlit off the coast of Israel. Near the village of Atlit lies one of the oldest and best preserved underwater settlements ever discovered, Atlit, a Neolithic village that sank beneath the Mediterranean approximately 9,000 years ago. The site includes stone-built houses, a water well, stone-paved areas, and most mysteriously, a semicircular stone arrangement resembling Stonehenge, made of 7 megaliths weighing up to 1,300 pounds each, arranged in a precise formation. The stones are arranged in a way that suggests astronomical or ceremonial significance. In the center of the formation is a freshwater spring, still bubbling up from the seafloor after 9,000 years. The positioning appears deliberate. The stones frame the spring in a specific pattern. Even more remarkable human skeletons found at the site are so well preserved that scientists could identify diseases. One skeleton shows evidence of tuberculosis, making it one of the oldest known cases of the disease. Others show signs of ear infections from diving, suggesting these people were skilled underwater fishers. The village appears to have been abandoned suddenly. The preservation is too good. There are grinding stones still in place, animal bones from meals, even fish bones in a hearth. Something caused the people to leave quickly, taking few possessions. Recent research suggests a massive tsunami, possibly triggered by a volcanic collapse of Mount Etna in Sicily, may have devastated the entire eastern Mediterranean coast. Evidence of similar sudden abandonments appears at other coastal sites from the same period. But the stone circle raises profound questions. How did Neolithic people, supposedly primitive by our standards, quarry, transport, and erect multi-ton stones with precision? Why did they arrange them around a spring? What ceremonies or observations took place there? Some researchers suggest the stones aligned with solstices or equinoxes, indicating sophisticated astronomical knowledge. Others believe the formation was religious, a temple to water deities, or fertility gods. The site's exceptional preservation comes from being buried quickly by sediment and then protected by seawater. But this raises another question. How many? Other Neolithic settlements lie beneath our coastlines, buried when sea levels rose at the end of the Ice Age? Atlit Yam suggests that complex societies with monumental architecture existed thousands of years before we thought possible, and that rising seas may have erased entire chapters of human prehistory. The Doggerland artifacts. Our final mystery takes us to the North Sea, where fishing boats and dredging operations regularly pull up something impossible tools, bones and artifacts from a lost world called Doggerland. During the last ice age, what is now the North Sea was dry land, a vast plain connecting Britain to continental Europe. This region, called Doggerland by archaeologists, was home to Mesolithic hunter-gatherers for thousands of years. Then, around 6,500 BCE, rising sea levels submerged it completely. Fishermen have recovered woolly mammoth bones, ancient tools, hunting weapons, and evidence of human habitation from their nets. In 2010, a fishing trawler pulled up a prehistoric antler that had been carved into a tool direct evidence of human activity. Recent underwater surveys using advanced sonar have revealed a landscape beneath the North Sea river valleys, hills, lagoons, and what appear to be settlement sites. The land was rich and productive, supporting large populations. But here's where the mystery deepens. Around 6,200 BCE, geological evidence suggests a massive underwater landslide off the coast of Norway, the Storegga. Slide triggered a mega tsunami with waves up to 80 feet high that devastated Doggerland. The Storegga slide involved an estimated 840 cubic miles of sediment collapsing down the continental shelf. The resulting tsunami would have struck with little warning, traveling at 600 miles per hour. Entire communities would have been wiped out in minutes. Sediment cores from the North Sea show a layer of tsunami deposits dating to this event. Coastal archaeological sites in Scotland and Norway show sudden abandonment. The tsunami may have killed thousands and made Doggerland uninhabitable, accelerating its eventual submersion. Some researchers believe this catastrophic flood may have influenced ancient flood myths, including the biblical story of Noah's Ark. Many European cultures have flood legends that speak of a time when the world was drowned. In 2019, amateur archaeologists discovered worked flints and tools along the Dutch coast that came from Doggerland. DNA analysis of sediment cores has revealed the plants and animals that lived there. We're slowly reconstructing this lost world. But vast areas remain unexplored. How many settlements lie beneath the mud? What level of social organization did these people achieve? Did they have permanent villages or sophisticated art? Doggerland serves as a haunting reminder that coastlines change. Civilizations can be swallowed by the sea, and entire landscapes can vanish. As we face our own climate crisis and rising sea levels, Doggerland asks, what will future generations find when they explore our submerged cities? The North Sea holds a drowned world, a lost chapter of European prehistory, still revealing its secrets one fishing net at a time. From ancient structures that predate known civilization, to artifacts out of place in time, To natural phenomena that defy easy explanation, the ocean floor is a museum of the impossible. We've explored less than 5% of our oceans. We've mapped less than 20% of the seafloor in high resolution. That means 80% of our planet's underwater realm remains largely unknown, unexplored, unmapped, mysterious. What else is down there? What other cities lie buried beneath the silt? What technologies did ancient peoples possess that we've forgotten? What creatures inhabit the deepest trenches? What sounds echo in the darkness? These discoveries force us to reconsider our assumptions. We assume ancient peoples were primitive, yet we find sophisticated engineering and astronomical knowledge. We assume we know Earth's history, yet coastlines hide drowned civilizations. We assume we understand the natural world, yet the ocean reveals phenomena we never imagined. Perhaps the most profound mystery isn't any single discovery, but what they collectively tell us. Human history is longer, more complex, and more mysterious than our textbooks suggest. Ancient peoples were more capable than we give them credit for. And nature is more surprising than our theories predict. Climate change means sea levels are rising again. In the coming centuries, our own cities may join these underwater mysteries. Future archaeologists might dive among the ruins of New York, London, or Mumbai, wondering about our civilization the way we wonder about Atlantis. The ocean is the ultimate archive, preserving what the land erodes, protecting what time destroys, holding secrets in its depths. Every discovery raises new questions. Every answer reveals how much we don't know. So the next time you look at the ocean, remember, you're not just seeing water. You're seeing the surface of a vast, largely unexplored realm that holds answers to questions we haven't even thought to ask yet. The age of exploration isn't over, it's just moved underwater. The great mysteries of our time aren't on distant planets. They're here, on our own world, waiting in the depths. What will we discover next? What ancient secrets still sleep in the darkness? What impossible structures await detection? What sounds echo where no human has ever been? The ocean keeps its secrets well. But slowly, dive by dive, sonar scan by sonar scan, we're beginning to listen. We're beginning to understand. We're beginning to see. And the more we discover, the more we realize the ocean floor is not just about the past. It's about understanding our planet, our origins, and perhaps our future. Thank you for diving deep with us today. If you enjoyed this exploration of ocean mysteries, please like, subscribe, and share. Leave a comment telling us which discovery fascinated you most, or if you know of other unexplained ocean mysteries we should explore. Remember, 80% of the ocean remains unexplored. The next great discovery could happen tomorrow. Stay curious, keep exploring, and never stop questioning what lies beneath.